This week at Interior. Secretary Jewell traveling south this week to make the case for full and permanent funding for the Land and Water Conservation Fund. She joined state and local conservation leaders and groups at Georgia's Chattahoochee River National Recreation Area. That area was created with support from the fund 36 years ago. The Land and Water Conservation Fund has also helped the area with further protection and conservation since then. Secretary Jewell calls the fund one of the most effective tools for environmental and historic conservation and for expanding outdoor recreational activities. Congress created the fund in 1964. It's largely funded by the revenues oil and gas companies pay when they drill in waters owned by the American people, and yet only once in its history has it reached its full $900 million level. From Georgia, the Secretary then traveled to Virginia, where she highlighted the Land and Water Conservation Fund's mission to protect and preserve our nation's historic landscapes. The Secretary marking the 150th anniversary of Confederate General Robert E. Lee's surrender to Union General Ulysses S. Grant at what is now Appomattox Courthouse National Historical Park. That surrender on April 9, 1865, effectively ended the American Civil War. The Secretary says partnerships with the Land and Water Conservation Fund have helped states and nonprofit organizations like the Civil War Trust to permanently protect and interpret Civil War sites for present and future generations. The second and third Sentinel Landscapes announced this week under a partnership between Interior, DoD, and the USDA. Fort Huachuca in Arizona and Naval Air Station Patuxent Atlantic Test Ranges in Maryland joined Joint Base Fort Lewis-McChord in Washington State as the first 3 sites designated under the Sentinel Landscape Partnership to promote working lands, protect wildlife habitat, and ensure military readiness. Find out more at sentinellandscapes.org. A new scientific synthesis suggests that the release of greenhouse gases now frozen in the Arctic permafrost may occur more gradually as the planet warms up than originally feared. And that slower release may allow society more time to adapt to those environmental changes. Find out more about the study at USGS.gov. Congratulations to Wichita Mountains National Wildlife Refuge in Oklahoma. It took home the top spot in a USA Today poll of best national wildlife refuges. Wichita Mountains was singled out for its diversity of wildlife, including bison, elk, and deer, and its diverse habitats of mixed grass prairie, forest, and rock outcroppings. And so far so good for Washington, D.C.'s world-famous cherry blossoms, still on track to hit their peak bloom April 11th to the 14th. That's just as the city stages the National Cherry Blossom Festival parade on Saturday. The festival itself concludes on Sunday. That's This Week at Interior.